This ABC Washington Post poll showing President Trump at a 37% approval rating. The number, we've heard it for months now, 35, 37, 38%. We just can't underscore enough how historically low this is. So let's talk about that and the rest of the week's news with Eliana Johnson. She's a national political reporter at Politico, and Errol Louis, a political anchor for Spectrum News here in New York and a CNN political commentator. Errol, you were making the point to me during the commercial break that Kellyanne Conway is an accomplished pollster.
Yes.
She's aware of how disturbingly low these numbers are for her boss. I respect that she doesn't necessarily want to discuss that, but I think to myself, the biggest story involving the Trump presidency right now is his disapproval from the American public.
Absolutely.
We have to keep coming back to it, even if it feels repetitive.
There are important political implications to that. And that's not to discount what she was trying to say about the economy doing well, and that's going to count in the president's favor. Okay, fine. Even with that great economic performance in recent weeks, he's performing so badly that she, as a pollster, knows very well that it's the kind of thing that turns donors off. It's the kind of thing that invites challengers, that emboldens possible challengers to the president, not just on Capitol Hill with legislation and doing the White House's bidding, but even a challenge against the president for his reelection is not out of the question when the numbers are just that bad. So, you know, and then you've got the generic poll that puts a generic for the outcome in Congress next year, puts the Democrats 10 points over the Republicans. She knows that that is trouble. She knows that that's got to get turned around. It is very high in their inbox, politically speaking, and I don't think she really wanted to talk about it this morning because I don't know if they have a plan for it.
So we've seen all these numbers from a number of major networks, some of them timed to the election day anniversary, which is coming up on Wednesday. Eliana, one number that also stood out to me from the ABC Washington Post poll is that 91% of Trump voters say they would vote for him again. So even though we see a lot of troubling numbers for the Trump presidency 1 month since Election Day, he still retains the support of his base to a remarkable degree.
You know, Brian, I'm not sure we know what the political implications of those historically low approval numbers are. The election of 2016 was so bizarre. You know, it was not a popularity contest. Voters disapproved both of Hillary Clinton and of Donald Trump. And so I'm not sure, you know, how those approval numbers are going to impact the 2018 election because the economy is performing well, as Kellyanne Conway said. And so I'm really interested to see how the performance of the economy will counterbalance his approval numbers. And as you said, you know, Errol mentioned the possibility of a primary challenge to Trump. You know, I think that's a pretty remote prospect. The number you mentioned, that 91% of voters, Republican primary voters, would vote for Trump again. It seems to me that he has a pretty strong grip on the party. When you see people like Jeff Flake and Bob Corker, who have been outspoken critics of his retiring, and the primaries, I mean, the Alabama Senate primary was essentially you had two candidates trying to prove their Trump bona fides. So it does seem to me like he has rebranded the party pretty successfully in his own image. I'd be surprised to see a primary challenge to him. But again, I think we're in pretty untested territory, and that's why I don't think, even though historically low approval ratings typically would be meaningful, I'm not really sure necessarily that we can carry past lessons forward in this case.
And I'm looking forward to this Tuesday night. It's another election night in America. Live coverage on all the cablers once again with results in Virginia and other states. Eliana, Errol, please stick around. A quick break here, and then the Rupert Murdoch factor.